Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the team from Pit Bull Bushido. This conversation was recorded on February 1st, 2023, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of Kadena Ecosystem directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also make sure to follow our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. Today we are catching up with Hooked on Nugs, the creators of Kawaii K9s, and coming out with their new collection, the Pit Bull Bushidos. So why don't we start off first with just a little introduction about yourself, what you guys have been up to, and we'll get right into this.
All right. Well, good to be here, and thanks again for your time. Yeah, it's just me and my wife, Christina. She does all of the artwork. We've been in crypto for a little while now, just mainly kind of feeling out the space, kind of learning different things. We started out in Ethereum, made the switch over to KDA completely because we did believe that Kadena has a lot of potential. So for us, we actually we live in the Pacific. We have a lot of different things that we do in real life, but we have made this something that we do dedicate a lot of our time to, our free time to. So Christina is always busy, drawing different things, getting different things ready. We of course started with Kawaii K9s, and then we had an Angel Doggos collection, and then now we're on to this new project, which we're hoping is going to be our biggest push, because we have so many different things involved with it to try to reach more people.
Now let's get the elephant in the room out of the way right away before we dive too much into the new projects. The status of Kawaii K9s and Angel Doggos. Do you have any kind of updates on that? Because I know things, Mintit's been having some issues as of late, and things kind of seem to be in a limbo. So why don't we just maybe give whatever kind of background and information you can there.
All right. So I was in contact with the Mintit guys, from probably middle of last year, when because I first had heard I was looking for a place to launch, and so I started contacting them, and they're always real nice and friendly, and they were working on this project and had a lot of promise. I still hope that they can manage to get out of the slump that they're in, because I do think that having a place where you can go and mint your collection on Kadena would be great. We do need a version of different things that are available on other blockchains, like I keep mentioning, like Nifty Kit, other projects like that on various chains. We need something like that over here to make it easier for people, if they even have just a PFP project, that they would be able to have that opportunity. But for the status of Kawaii K9s and Angel Doggos, pretty much they are on hold since mid-December. Reveals have not been happening. So if somebody mints a Kawaii K9 or an Angel Doggo or anything else unminted, they won't reveal. That's due to them needing to upgrade their contracts. From what I've been told, it's basically a funding issue and a dev issue. They are trying to work through that right now, but it's been several weeks, but not really sure how that's going to go, how that's been going for them. So I actually requested that they put ours on pause, so people won't be able to mint a new one, a new Kawaii K9 or an Angel Doggo, and that's an indefinite pause, because obviously I don't know what's going to happen next with those projects. So the Kawaii K9s originally were going to be our first major collection on Kadena. We were wanting to use them as a way to raise the funds to do the Pit Bull Bushido collection and many other things that we had planned. We originally had a storyline planned with the Kawaii K9s. many different plans that we had to do, like comic books and stuff. Kind of an idea. We had a story arc there. Unfortunately, we hit about 40% minted with the Kawaii K9s, and then that is when the situations it was just started to be every, if not every month, every week there was some sort of a problem. And so I hope that eventually they can get their stuff worked out. But for now, we switched over, and we appreciate the crew at Arcade for accepting our project, because we do have a gaming aspect, and we do have a lot of different things planned. We do have a lot of things already in the mail, in the works right now. We're going to be putting out some stuff to show that we are doing all of these things that we say we're doing. But unfortunately, our Kawaii K9s are kind of in purgatory for the time being.
Yeah, I myself too am really hoping that the Mintic guys can pull things back together. It'd be really nice to see if, like I don't know if you heard the last AMA that they did with Action CEO, but they were looking for hopefully like some maybe people to get involved and possibly help with funding or possibly take over the whole entire thing. So I don't know. Hopefully they can figure something out, because it would be a real shame for these collections to kind of get stuck into this limbo. It'd be, at the very least, it'd be nice for them to be able to release all of the metadata and files for these. So, for example, you could move over to another marketplace like Arcade, or, one of the other ones. Like I think I know that there's some new marketplaces in the works right now. Maybe even like the crypto merch, they just opened a marketplace, or even the Babena, you could maybe move over there. So like there is different options out there, but it's nice to see that you're already in talks with Arcade. Arcade is an absolutely amazing team, great group of guys that are really committed to making sure that that their stuff stays going and stays building and keeps building. So very excited to hear that you guys are finding a new home, and hopefully it'll be a good one, because the last time we talked, I was super excited to hear about like you guys have all these amazing, great plans for these projects, and just to see it kind of hindered from third-party people is really a shame in my eyes. But let's just keep, like I always say, just keep moving forward, keep working, keep your head down, and things will eventually find its way to working out. So let's talk now about Pit Bulls, Pit Bull Bushidos. I absolutely love them. I love the art that you guys have doing. Why don't we go through it first and just kind of give a broad description of what the Pit Bull Bushidos are all about?
All right, so the Pit Bull Bushido is our first collection in our overall story arc of the Islands of Damaya. Now, to give you a little bit of a general overview of what we have planned, the Islands of Damaya, we've released a preview of what the map is going to look like, and a few other things on our Discord and on Twitter. It is a group of islands that we've created. They're actually designed after some islands that I grew up on as a kid when we lived overseas. So I've kind of made a smash up of different islands that I've been to create this world. And then different names and things on the island are from languages that Christina spoke growing up overseas as well. So Damaya actually, in one of the languages she spoke as a kid, means chain. So it's the same meaning as Kadena, basically. So we wanted to do like the islands of Kadena, but didn't really want to. I mean, that was a fine idea, but we kind of wanted to do our own thing as well. So it is basically the islands of Kadena, but it's a different language. So the islands of Damaya. And the Pit Bull Bushido collection, they could also be called the Samurai of Kadu. It's one of the islands in the world that we're building. They're going to be one of the first factions in a multi-faction game that we're building, where basically every island will have a different faction. So we already have NFT projects in the works, of course, for the Samurai. Those people who have been following and noticing the things I'm putting out, we have a Vikings collection. We have what you could consider an evil collection, which would be the Thurkai warriors. We have some other warriors and other collections planned. We're also planning, and I can't really talk about this too much, but we are planning an overall theme of keeping the virtues theme going. We have some virtues and some codes of ethics that are going to probably be in every collection that we release, at least of all the quote unquote good factions. They'll all have virtues to keep with a similar theme. But this first collection, the Pit Bull Bushido, it's based on the 7 virtues of Bushido. I know that some people say there's 8, but generally accepted, especially in Japan, it's 7. And so what we're planning is to release these 47 samurai in 7 different drops or collections. So every month, starting from the time we launch, which will probably either be this month or next month, depending on how, basically that's the general idea. It'll be soon. And once a month, we'll drop a virtue. When the virtue comes out, so the first one would be integrity. When integrity comes out, there will be 7 characters that are released. Now, each of these 47 samurai are drawn by Christina on her iPad. She's hand drawing each character, trying to give them a different color palette. We're trying to have a coordinating color palette for each virtue, but they are all one of ones. And so when we release them, we are planning on basically having 47 copies of each. So when you mint, say, we're going to have them named as well. So let's say you mint Tokugawa. When you mint Tokugawa's character, you'll receive one of 47. Now, all 47 basically editions of Tokugawa will be identical, but you'll have one of 47. And then basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it like a collectible card, digital card, where if you can collect each warrior, you're going to unlock different benefits. We do have things planned, like if you collect every character from a virtue, you might get something from the merch store, or at least a pretty good discount code. If you do get all 47, we will send you a deck of physical character cards, which we already have some samples in the mail coming, where you'll get like a little deck of cards, kind of like Pokemon cards, but you'll have one card for every samurai in the collection in the end. And we're building this into a physical card game. So we do already have the rules basically figured out for that. We have some different power-up cards, different ideas that we have. So we're going to be basically beta testing that throughout the next few months as we can. And then once we have the collections minted, and as they come out, as they mint out, and then of course when we get to the end of the year, those who have all 47 samurai, they'll just have to send me a shipping address and they'll receive their physical playing cards or physical character cards. And hopefully we'll be able to also include an add-on deck of some like power-up cards so they can go ahead and play a version of the game. But we're trying to figure out finances for that right now.
Now, this game that you're going to be able to play, is there going to be like a virtual version of this where you can connect your wallet and play with someone virtually online that has these NFTs as well?
That would be the next phase of this, because for now we're kind of wanting to do a thing where it's in real life. Because I know a lot of people like crypto stuff, and like the Wizards Arena, those guys they got a really great system going. I really would like to pick the brains of their developers to find out like if they'd be interested in the future, of course, when they have some spare time. If they would like to, if we could talk percentages, if maybe we could work something out with them. But that would probably be the next phase. But for now, we're going to probably just stick with IRL, because it is sometimes nice to have a physical representation of something that you've put money into. So we're going to probably just let that kind of be our thing for now. Digital game is in the works. I have contacted a few different developers for that. I have some ideas about how that would be played or how that would work. we already do have a story, basically not really a novel format, but I am a writer, so I've been writing a story that will go with the whole Islands of Damaya. And so what I'm thinking is what we'll probably do is we're going to write the story using all these different factions and characters, and we might get a comic book artist, because we might take the characters and we might put them into like a comic book or comic strip form, and then that would be probably the basis for a digital game. So basically, you're playing through the story like a campaign, playthrough campaign mode. Uh, there, we do have a lot of ideas and a lot of plans, but as everybody knows, that just takes money. And so for us, in real life, what we do is we're basically what we do in real life. We don't really have access to use like our own personal money for a lot of this kind of stuff. So basically, the way we would have to do it is through selling the NFTs. Is how we would be raising the money for these different projects. And so we have a lot of things planned out. We have a lot of things in the works, and we do have a lot of physical stuff that we're trying to do as well, like to raise some, uh, basically some money. We're going to be launching a merch store soon, selling the Seven Virtues of Bushido hats. Each hat will have a virtue on it with the meaning, and then some other stuff from the Islands of Damaya. There'll be snapbacks, there'll be baseball caps, and I'm planning on trying to market those also to the general population, even outside of crypto, because anything that I can do to try to raise some money to see our plans fulfilled, we're going to try to do.
Now, you were saying before that the original idea was the Kawaii K9s would be the pop-off collection that funds the ongoing collections, and you were able to sell, was it over between 40 and 50% of the collection? Is that right?
Yes, we
So
sold
that's
about
not too
40.
bad.
No, it's not too bad. We did, unfortunately, with the Kawaii K9s plus with the numbers that we sold, we made, I forget the exact amount, but it was just under like 3,000 Kadena. But we gave out like close to 1,500 in awards, in free mints, in different things that we have done for people trying to keep interest in the project going. And of course, the original idea was we had a different story, or it was similar to the story we're doing, but we were planning on originally having the Kawaii K9s. It was a pretty cool story. It was supposed to be the Kawaii K9s are the children of the Bull Run Bulldogs, which was our original NFT collection, which are on Ethereum. They're all minted. They're all available on OpenSea, but we did them basically as a one-off collection to see how NFTs work, how layering works, and how it works. So we did a bunch of layers. We made them. And we put them on Ethereum. They're all on OpenSea. So our original plan was like all of this family was lost in quote unquote open sea, and the ship sank, and the Kawaii K9s, the children, swim ashore onto the island of Kadena, or the island of Damaya. And on the island, there's these different warrior factions, like the Pit Bull Bushido, these Furkai warriors, there's different factions. So there's kind of can be like they're living on this island in the middle of all this war that's going on. And then eventually they're trying to find their parents. And then we were wanting to eventually, in the future, if possible, either port over or bring over the Bull Run Bulldogs, and then when they could come over to Kadena from Ethereum, those would be then just deposited into everybody's wallets that holds either a Kawaii K9 or one of the Islands of Damaya collections, and basically like the parents are found. So that was the original kind of idea, like rough rough storyboard idea we had, but basically now that's kind of out the window, because we are going with arcade. It's not possible for me to really promote. I can't really like in all good conscience, trying to promote arcade with my projects, and then also try to promote every other every other company out there that I have stuff on. So I'm kind of just shifted now to I'm concentrating on the arcade project, which is Pit Bull Bushido. I do I am upset about the Kawaii K9s kind of being in limbo. I do want to do a thing in the future, possibly where I can maybe give the remaining Kawaii K9s to holders, like split among the holders that already have Kawaii K9s, just give them the rest of the K9s so that they can either resell them or just have them. I don't know about that, if that's going to be possible. But what we are doing is, if you do have a Kawaii K9, this offer is actually already closed, but up until like last week, if you or 2 weeks ago, if you had minted a Kawaii K9, that would earn you one free mint from Pit Bull Bushido. So we up to 47 mints. So there are some people that bought amazing amounts of canines. I know, like, I do believe there's one wallet that bought like 130 of them. So I don't know who that is, but they get the whole Pit Bull Bushido collection for free. So we're trying to do a few things for holders, but it's been tough.
Maybe that was one of the people that listened to the last AMA and realized, oh man, I got to buy these now so I can get the free ones in the future. Because I remember talking about that last time, about how people that had the K9s were able to get these free pit bulls. So who knows, maybe that hopefully that helped out a little bit and pushed a little bit more sales your way.
Yeah. Well, it was real great, but and we did make some KDA, but unfortunately, with the vast numbers of that we gave out, like, I mean, obviously I filled out that form that you guys put out. But if you see my breakdown, I have like a whole breakdown. I include the numbers, and you can see in one of those slides that I have, that the amounts that we gave out, and including some that we gave out for free mints that were never claimed. So I'm kind of out like a few hundred Kadena there as well. So it's been a strange situation, but we're doing what we can to just kind of pivot now and put all of our chips into this project, and trying to just hope that we can get a smoother launch on arcade, and hopefully throughout this year, as the virtues drop, we'll be able to build it up, possibly into the end, where we'll end it with the IRL cards.
Now, you were saying how these first 7 Bushidos that are coming out are kind of the good side of things. And if I'm assuming so, let's say this goes really well, you mint them all out, people are really excited getting involved. Then will there be like a bad, like a villain side? Because if so, I kind of see how you have the seven good virtues. You could also have the 7 deadly sins as the bad guys, I feel.
Yeah, great minds think alike. I had already thought the same thing. But what I can tell you is, all right. So we do have plans for the Verkai Warriors. The for basically for comparison reasons, you could kind of draw a connection to the way they're going to look is similar to Sauron in Lord of the Rings. And by Lord of the Rings, I mean Lord of the Rings, not the Rings of Power. And it's going to be they're going to have like this spiky kind of looking armor. We already have Christina's already been doing some of the artwork for that. They're all going to have dog heads, or canine heads, and by what I mean by canine is, like, canines, the animal. So I can't really say which breeds, but yet. But we do have plans that every collection is going to be a different breed or a different type of dog. So the pit bulls are the Bushido characters. Um, Basically because we really thought they looked cool when we were kind of brainstorming different breeds. So Christina's drawn just about every kind of dog breed there is, the heads, and we placed each one. And when we came to the pit bull head, which has been our staple for a lot of our collections, we were like, you know what, let's go with this one, because it really was turning out pretty cool. What I can say is that one of the collections will be like Timberwolf heads, we believe. We do have some other collections, like we have different kinds of mastiffs, different types of dogs, even like boony dogs, like they have here where we live, just some mixed breed dogs. We have different types of factions, is what we're working on, and so we do have Evil planned. I'm not sure. Christina was thinking we might do the Evil connection collection next. We do also have another good, or basically you could say neutral faction, which would be the Vikings. For them, there actually is a code of ethics. I actually learned this fairly recently. The Vikings also had a code of ethics. I do believe they had 9. Hospitality is one of them. So we do kind of think that we're going to try to see how we can do that. We do have a ninja collection in the works. We have what would be considered a wizard or mage type of style of character group. Got a lot of things we have working in the background.
If you look back at the history of things, like, you have the Japanese samurais, you have, going all the way back to like the Egyptians and all that kind of stuff, you find that there's a common theme, like even Christianity with the Ten Commandments and all that kind of stuff, and the deadly sins. It seems like every one of these kind of groups of people like that have like these set rules of what's good and what's bad and what you should and should not do. So it's really interesting to see, to take from these different ideologies throughout history and build something really cool around them, which kind of seems to be what you guys are trying to do with these pit bulls. It's really, really kind of a really cool concept, and something that, is worldwide and that people can relate to for sure.
Well, I think that there's something to be said about trying to live virtuously, I guess you could say. I know there's like that one company or that one group where they have the live generously thing, but I think that when you can base a collection off of something that is actually real, this is something that people lived and died for years. It doesn't matter which group you're going with, like you mentioned, all those. It actually is something that was tested and tried and used throughout history. So it actually does have a deeper meaning than just, well, let me just draw up some cool looking artwork and then just try to sell it. Well, if you have something that has meaning to it, I hope that some people they'll look at the collection. Like right now in Discord, if you join our Discord channel, if you have a particular virtue that really is something that you either want to have in your own life or you tried your best to keep, you can accept that virtue as a role in Discord. So it'll kind of show up next to your name, and we're going to try to incorporate some different things like that, just for fun. I am also looking to launch. I am launching. Everything is done. Like I have all of the hats designed. I have everything done. The snapbacks, the caps, everything's ready to go. All I need to do is click unlock, so, and then the store is available to everyone. Um, my only holdback is I wanted to wait for some samples. So I've already ordered some samples because I would hate to sell without actually having seen the product first. But we're releasing a snapback collection, a baseball cap collection. Those I do want to promote to the general population. Probably do some stuff on Instagram. I might try to get somebody I know that's into TikTok to sell them, because I do know that if people see those hats, because they kind of look like New York Yankee style caps, that's got the symbol for the virtue on the front, the meaning of that virtue on the back, and then we have a little red 23 since we're launching this company or project this year, and then on the right side is the Damaya Islands, just a little outline of those, and we're just going to try to sell those. Right now, we're kind of setting the price point for those, the snapbacks and the caps. I'm trying to figure that out because I do know that we're going to be selling worldwide. I have to figure out shipping. I'll either do free shipping worldwide and then just set the price a little higher so that everybody receives free shipping, or I might have to set different price points or the different shipping amounts for different places. We're working on that angle right now as well, but we're trying to figure out how we can even promote this idea just even out there to other people, not even with the NFT collection, but just even shirts, hats, stuff like that, because I do think that the virtues would probably be pretty popular as a concept for some people.
Now, we recently have gone through the whole process of opening a merch shop ourselves. Swag.koalawallet.io for anyone that's listening that wants to get some sweet merch. So just out of curiosity, are you guys going to be doing drop shipping yourself? Like, we're using ourselves, our store is set up through Shopify because Shopify is the largest e-commerce thing for online stores. And then our provider that does all the printing and everything, we went with Printful because they are a worldwide provider with distribution centers throughout the world. I think they have 5 or 6 different centers kind of strategically spotted around the world. Like, for example, one of our team members lives in Poland, and they ordered a shirt and got it within 4 or 5 days. I myself in Canada, I ordered a shirt and a hat, and I got it 2 days after I ordered it. So like what can you say? I don't know what your plans are for that kind of stuff.
Printful. We're using Printful.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
But I really like their setup. So, I mean, that being said, I have I've got the I had to get the pro plan with them because of the amount of embroidery that we're doing, because it's to digitize your embroidery designs. It's like $6 a pop unless you have pro. So I got the pro plan just to cover the costs of my embroidery designs. So we're using them. Basically, it was really awesome because they had colors in the snapbacks and in the baseball caps, but even more in the snapbacks that perfectly coordinated to the virtue color schemes that we have. So when you order a hat, uh, I've been working on this for nonstop for days now. Like every waking moment, I'm sitting there working on it. We have like 48 caps available, 48 hats. It's going to be 21 snapbacks, three different snapbacks for every virtue in thread color. So we're going to have white, black, and then the color of the virtue in thread color. And then we'll also have coordinating colors of the hats. So up to like 60 something, I think, options for Pit Bull Bushido snapbacks. If you move over to the caps, same thing. It's like 27, I think, different options there. Same thing. You have white thread, black thread, color of the virtue thread, and then different variations of colors for hats. So we do have everything done. I was going to try to say I'm going to launch the store today. Everybody that's in the space, go buy yourself a hat. But I do have a few things that I want to check out first, just to make sure everything's perfect. But the store is done. The website is built. The print, all the stuff is ready to be ordered right now. I'm just trying to set the price points for the shipping. Trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I was blown away when I first started because I was pretty much the one that set up our swag store as well, and I was blown away by the options that Printful had, and was like, just like, wow, like, one of our shirts has 47 different variants that you can do, and it's just amazing how all the different options they provided. And I was super stoked about everything that I've done with them, and then Shopify integrating it into a Shopify store was even easier. They've just set up everything so great. And one thing I will say, if you are going with Shopify as well for your store branding and all that kind of stuff, their support is top notch. You contact them, their live chat is awesome. When their live chat's over, they'll follow up with emails with even more information about the topic you were looking for. So if you guys need any help with that, feel free to reach out to them. You can even reach out to us because, like I said, we just went through, like, it took us, I've been working on that store store now for at least the last 2 or 3 months. It's not the easiest process, but once you get it all set up, everything just kind of grooves like butter, just amazingly, just nice and smooth. Everything works great, and yeah, your hats look awesome. I have to say, I've been looking at the different pictures and sneak peeks you guys have been putting out on your Twitter and in Discord and stuff. And yeah, I'll probably be. I'm a big hat wearer, so I like my hats. So I'll probably be ordering one for sure. I think they're really cool looking.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And I'll have to look at the Shopify storefront. I had looked into them at first as well. For right now, I'm launching my own store, basically on our own website. So you'll have a cart, and we accept credit card, debit card, and Apple Pay. I might be able to set up PayPal, but I know a lot of people had kind of gotten rid of their PayPal, so had I. So basically, I think I'll just stick with cards and with Apple Pay, and that's actually handled through Wix because that's my website provider, and so all that's kind of already built and in place. We've gotten it so that when you go to the storefront, you can sort by type. So you can sort them by snapbag or by baseball cap, or you can see all of them. And then you can also sort by virtue. So if you want to go see any particular virtue, you'll go there and you click on there. Whenever we do release a virtue, though, like for instance, integrity, we'll also be releasing a merch package with that would include shirts, hoodies, mouse pads, anything and everything, posters, whatever it is that might be available. We'll put out with every virtue. So be on the lookout for the first set of integrity virtues merch that'll be added to the store probably around the same time as launch. Just for those that would like to get something coordinated with what they have in NFT form. And we will try to do some giveaways and stuff. But there again, of course, every time I do something like that, it kind of eats away at my at my building ahead towards other plans we have. So we're trying to see what we can do to slowly build our capital.
Another great thing about partnering with Arcade for your NFTs is that they also have kind of a merch section of their own where you can get the picture, pretty much a picture poster size printed off of your NFT with the trade information, the names, all that kind of stuff. I have one that they sent me that I ordered of one of my original 80s bulls that's all framed in a nice frame and everything like that. And I'm pretty sure that they stated a little while ago that every collection that's going to be on their platform will be able to provide this option as well. So, just finding the right partners can sometimes make all the difference. And I think since you guys are both looking for merch, looking to build a game, that Arcade seems to be kind of the perfect fit for you guys. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully something can happen with Mint It, either that, like you said, you could release the collection and just send it out to the people who have already minted, or like I said, get the information, get the data, all the metadata and all that kind of information you need to be able to hopefully port over the collection or something. And yeah, just like it's never really give up on something. I feel like hopefully down the road things will find brighter days, and things will happen. And it seems like you guys definitely have great plans. You definitely want to execute these things, and you just need kind of that push, that thing that jumps you off and gets you going.
Yeah, that's kind of like we just kind of need a strong launch in something. Now I know that the first few virtues will probably disappear into the free. Well, but probably I would say currently, as I can say right now, like I think only like the first virtue is going to be a free mint in its entirety, because based on the numbers that people are holding, I still need to collect the wallet addresses. I've been trying to do that through a form I put out. If you have Kawaii K9s, I do have a form available on my Twitter for Kawaii K9s. If you can go there, fill that out, put in the number of K9s you have. Of course, I'm going to be checking everyone, but if you can do that, that's a big help. so that I can create the lists of wallets and basically do it like the tiers of how many people are going to be getting throughout the collection. But as we go along, we are, of course, going to be hopefully making some money back to try to put towards all these other things we have going. We do have the set of IRL cards. They're the test set, so they're not actually what the final product may end up looking like, but it'll be very similar. They are on the way. I just tracked them last night. They left South Korea on their way to where I am, which means they should be here either today or tomorrow. And we're going to be trying to do a bunch of cool, like, videos, and we'll be setting those up. We have like a little light box with a little turntable, and we're going to be putting those in there and doing some like preview shots of what they're going to look like, and hopefully that'll help people see that we actually have some in hand. These are the cards that you'll eventually have yourself if this is something that you would like. I know it's not for everybody. Trading cards, physical cards aren't really for everybody, but if you would like to have a physical representation, at least, of the NFTs you have or you're going to be holding, we'd like to be able to do that. And then, of course, down the road, down the line, as things come together, have it in digital form as well.
I think it's very cool when you mash together the real world with the NFTs and have representations in both, because it just, it's bringing together that old school and new school to build something really cool. And, just it'll definitely bring more awareness and more want to the project. People will be like, oh man, you actually get something in real life, as opposed to just having this digital thing in a wallet that you can look at on your phone. You'll have something that you can physically hold and physically touch, which I think will make a big difference and make people be like, hey, that's really cool. I want to get in on this. Now, just out of curiosity, would someone isn't an NFT holder, doesn't really get into NFTs, doesn't want to mess around with NFTs, are you going to any thoughts of providing the option of just selling the decks as they are themselves? Like if someone just wanted to buy a full deck, would that possibly be an option in the future?
That will be an option. However, the cards that you would be receiving for collecting the NFTs would be one of a kind. Basically, one of a particular. They would be a special limited edition only to the holders. There will be a general card which will appear differently. They'll look a little different. We'll probably go ahead and have like a power up section for the cards, like what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses. We have an idea of how the game is going to be played. We've already brainstormed it. It's not that complicated, but we are kind of like, what's the easiest way to play this? And so we're kind of going through that. What we think is, in the end, we might actually end up having two versions of the game. What we might have is a kind that you can play basically like a traveling version, I guess you could say, where it's just the deck of cards you need, and you can play the game with just cards. And then we're going to have a home edition where you play it with a board, basically like a board game with the cards as well. So we're brainstorming both ideas, and what we think in the end what we might go with is have two versions: one where we have a board game, one where we have a card game. Now, for the cards, yeah, we will be selling them on an online store. Basically, they're going to be you would have to place the order. They'll print them and then ship them to you. We might eventually try to order some up and make them also and send them to the warehouse, Printful's warehouse, and then maybe just have them held in reserve as stuff that you can order from Printful through our online store as well, to make it a little easier to have some in stock. All of that we've already brainstormed. We've already thought of all those different things. I've even considered, I do have a few connections that I might be able to pitch it to a few different companies to even see if once our idea is built enough and we have some physical representations, I might even try to pitch it to an actual company like in Japan, an actual card company or something like that, to see if I might be able to even just pitch it as an actual card game, because I think that based on the ideas that we have and what we're doing, I think that there's potential for it to be popular. So I've got to do that as well. We're going to try every avenue we can, whether it's just doing it all ourselves or seeing if we can find some business partners as well. All of that aside, we're just staying busy pretty much 24/7.
Yeah, it's always best to plan for the far extreme of, things could go so well that, we're just swept off our feet, can't keep up, then the very least where, oh, we're not selling anything and no one really seems to be interested. What do we do now? It's good to have plans in place for both scenarios, and hopefully you find somewhere in the middle where everything can work out good, nice and smooth. I feel like, with this whole like kind of Japanese virtue theme, that the Japanese market would be very good to try to promote in things like that. Do you guys happen to know anyone in the Japanese Kadena community that could possibly get on board with helping promoting this to the specific Japanese community?
Not yet. I was actually going to start trying to see if I could reach out to anybody that might be. It's a little hard to know on Twitter whether or not somebody actually is, Kadena Japan, or if it's just somebody claiming to be. So if there is anybody that's in Japan, or even just pretty much anywhere in Asia, because I know that Bushido, the theme is similar. Like through Buddhism, basically, and other religions in the region. If anybody has any connections, it feels like these would be popular with people who like to live by a code of ethics. Please feel free to reach out. We're trying to see if we can promote it out. There aren't going to be that many available in this first collection, because and the way we're releasing it is going to be very limited every time we release it. So at most, when we release a virtue, there will be like 300 and something. I forget the numbers. I forget how many exactly it is, but it's well, basically it's 7 times 47, whatever that is. And that's how many we'll be releasing every month, because there's only going to be 47 of every character. Now, I know that some people are going to be probably a little confused with the fact that like their NFTs are identical, but there's a reason for that. It's because, well, they're all hand drawn, and we do not. Christina just is not going to be able to do that many different, because of the way the artwork is for this project, and because it is a trading card game. There will be copies of each one. Now, that being said, I am hoping that there is going to be a way in the future where, if you have these NFTs and you're trying to complete your set, say, we would like to be able to make a website where you could go and then list, and like extra cards that you've collected, and then you'd like to trade for others that have a card that you're missing or an NFT you're missing, so that you can complete your deck of 47. That was kind of like the original idea. Was it was going to be a complete blind mint, and people weren't going to know what they had, and we were going to release the whole collection at the same time. All 47 samurai were going to all release. People would go in there, and then they would mint, and then they would just, whatever they had, that's what they had, and then they were going to have to trade with one another to complete their set. After my time on Twitter and Discord and the amount of just messages that I get that just don't make any sense, I know if I did that, I was going to be dealing with confused people on a daily basis, and it was just going to be complete pandemonium and confusion. So, as it is right now, it's not going to be a blind mint. When you come in, you're going to know which character you're minting. You're going to know, because we're going to tell you which one it is. And then that way you can keep track of your own collection.
I kind of like the blind mint idea, because it's like opening a Pokemon deck. It's like buying decks of Pokemon
It was
cards,
an
and
idea, and
yeah.
it was a good idea, but then I mean, I just don't know how I could handle that much confusion. They're going to be like, "When do I get this? Do I get that? Do I have this for free now? Do I have my complete set?" I'm like, "I can't do that."
It would definitely drive a lot of more marketplace and after sales for sure, though, doing that. Because like, say I go and you have all 47 different characters out, all 2200 plus NFTs, and I go in and I mint 47 hoping to get one of each different thing, one of each different samurai, but I ended up getting like 5 of the same here and 4 of the same here and 3 of the same there. And then but someone else out there is doing the same thing as me, and we'll be in the same situation, but they'd have the ones that I'm missing in duplicates. I'd have ones that they're missing in duplicates, which would open up the whole thing of, well, let's trade, or I'll buy yours, you buy mine. It would definitely open up a lot of those different avenues, which I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Arcade said that they're getting close to adding a kind of a buy sell option as well as kind of a trading option. So, there is definitely a chance for you to do that. But like you said, it will cause confusion as to people that aren't exactly sure what's going on. So the way you're planning on doing it now is definitely going to cause a lot less confusion. But at the same time, like I said, doing it the other way would cause a lot more secondary market volume
Yeah,
and
and
stuff.
I'll talk with. I mean, I spoke with Arcade a couple of times already in this case, and we might. I mean, maybe we could revisit that idea. That was the original idea I had, because then it's truly is a trading card game. It's like basically that's it. That's the trading. That's your trading online trading cards right there. You need to complete your deck if you want the IRL cards. That was the original plan. The only reason why I kind of backed up on that was because of I know that I'm going to have a whole lot of complaining, whining, upset little people who want everything right there and now. And I'm like, well, if I don't want to have to deal with all that whining and complaining that I'll have to deal with if I do it that way, then it's going to be easier for me to just say this is the way it works.
For sure, you're still going to get whining and complaining. That just seems to be the way society is moving nowadays, where everyone wants to just whine and complain about absolutely everything in life. No one's happy with anything. It's you can't please everyone. The best you can do is make sure that you're happy with the way your project is ran. And if people like it, they'll jump on board. If they don't like it, they won't jump on board. That's the one good thing about this, is that people have their own say, can make up their own minds. And if you get projects that are rugging or doing whatever, there's no one's forced you to get into these projects. No one's forcing you to buy these things. You're making your own decisions. It's just like crypto in general. Crypto is very much, it's the whole, do your own research, make your own decisions, don't invest more than you're willing to lose. All those concepts still apply to NFTs. People need to remember that you're still taking a chance. I'm not saying that you guys in particular will be going down that road, because you guys definitely have your stuff together. You have your plans. You have your well thought out. Of all the projects I've talked to, you're probably one of the most thought out NFT projects. With this is what we want to do, and it's just a shame that things out of your control have been thrown into the mix that are causing you to kind of change things on the fly. But that's also what drives things to be better. Like you're not going to invent, you're not going to innovate without hitting roadblocks. Roadblocks are what causes people to rethink things and innovate more and make things usually better in the overall. So it's all just a matter, like I keep saying, of keep moving forward, keep your head down, and it'll all work out in the end.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And we could revisit the whole idea, like you're saying, about the blind men idea, and then trade with one another to complete your set. We could revisit that idea. We still have time. We're not in a huge rush to go ahead and get everything started. What I can say is, if we did go that route, we would have to push back launch, because while the first two virtues artwork is completely done. Uh, just the Christina's drawing these one by one. So basically, we would have to push back until she could finish all 47 of the samurai to do that. And then, of course, duplicate them 47 times, then shuffle the deck, and then launch. But the two drawbacks to that I have, only two drawbacks I have to that would be the fact that we'd have to push back, and Christina would have to really crunch down on finishing the artwork because she's kind of taking her time because she's trying to make sure she gets some shading. She's trying to add a lot of details to each one, making sure they have some shiny, different metallic looking parts, making everything look as good as she can. And she's really working hard on that. So we would have to push back our launch if that were the case. Second is I'm burned once already, and so if I launch all 47 characters at the same time in a massive collection and I don't mint out, I'm kind of screwed. So if I launch them as I currently am thinking, then whether or not I mint out, within, immediately or eventually, as time goes on, I will mint them out. So, like there's some thought that has to go into those ideas.
For sure. I'm sure that, it's about finding out that equal balance between what the community wants and what you guys are comfortable with doing, and that doesn't, throw extra challenges your way. So, I'm sure that you guys will figure things out. It's all about just, trial and error. Not everything's going to work the way you first imagine it. Sometimes you have to reimagine things, but definitely, like I said, you guys definitely seem to have your plans laid out. You seem to have a very good idea on where you want to go. So I'm not too worried. I believe that you've already hit your rough patches, and I think that's going to be behind you. And moving forward, hopefully everything's going to be nice, smooth sailing. And like I said, I really look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. I'll definitely be checking out the merch. Like I said, I'm a definite hat guy, so I'll definitely be trying to pick myself up one of those. But yeah, I'm super excited to see what you guys pull up, because you're a very talented couple, and hopefully, like, the community sees that, and sees all the things that you guys are trying to do and wanting to do, and just need a little push from the community to help you get to that point. So hopefully, hopefully everything works out from here on in, and hopefully you can backtrack, and maybe Kawaii K9s and Angel Doggos will be resurrected in even bigger glory and absolutely just blow everything out of the water. So you never know what the future is going to hold.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that, and thanks as always for having us on. Christina was going to join me, but we had a really long day yesterday. I don't know if anybody's listening in is a praying person. If you could be praying for family that we know here on the island. Unfortunately, there was a swimming accident, and their son drowned. He just passed away. So we were busy and out of the house all day yesterday. And of course, it's like 6 a.m. here. So Christina's not currently conscious, but it was a pretty long day yesterday. And so we've kind of been just burning it on every cylinder, trying to do everything that we can, firing on every cylinder, trying to get everything done. But then, of course, we just had some stuff that we're trying to also help with in real life. But we do appreciate the time, and we hope that we can get this collection going, and hopefully, eventually, Kawaii K9s and Angel Doggos. Maybe something will happen with them. I don't know. But for now, we are going to try to do our best to get these Pit Bull Bushido guys out there to everyone. And if you do want some IRL merch, keep an eye out. The store is launching soon. Let me just ask you a question. This is something that I probably would just have to ask you, since you've done the same thing. The shipping, is it a better idea for me to offer free shipping worldwide, or should I go in and try to and adjust the shipping rates to every country?
See, that's the thing is that when it comes to shipping, every region seems to have different settings. Like, for example, in the EU, you got to pay VAT on top of shipping. There's all these things that are really involved with it. So my suggestion would be to just kind of lower the price a bit instead of offering the free shipping, because some things it may work out in your favor, other things may not work out in your favor. And then, like I said, you got the variables like VAT. Over here in Canada, we have some shipping extra costs and things like that. So it's really a give and take. It's hard to really say which is the better option, but I think probably just letting people pay for their own shipping is, people are used to that. People have pretty much gotten used to the fact that especially depending on where you live, like I'm sure people in the EU are just know that I got to pay this stupid VAT tax, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. It's just kind of, it's like the same along the same lines as other certain countries have different tax things, like we have to pay GST on top of things. And so it really comes down to what you want to do and your choice. But if I was you, I would lean towards not offering free shipping and just letting the shipping fall where it may. Good thing about Printful, like I said, is that they have distribution centers all over the world. So it's not like if someone in North America orders something, they're not going to have to pay a huge shipping cost because it's coming from overseas. It's going to be coming from this continent. So they're only going to have to, like, I have to pay if I order something from our store through Printful, it's coming from North America. I'm paying the Canada Post shipping fees, which is like $8-9. It's not a big, huge deal. And the same
Okay.
will go for European ones because they have European distribution centers. So that's one good thing about that, is that you're not going to be paying for overseas shipping, and that's where things get really expensive, is when you're shipping things overseas.
I'll have to look into that because I found Printful has a page where they kind of list their general costs for shipping to every country. So I'll probably just follow that and match that as closely as I can. Like when I ordered my samples, according to their chart, shipping to where I'm at should be like 11.99, but it actually came out to be like 9.98. So as long as I just kind of, so it's pretty accurate. But as long as I just kind of follow their guidelines, I'll just probably go through and put all that in. And I'm kind of having to do it manually because it is on our own site. So that's like the one last thing I have to do. So I'm going to probably be sitting there with Netflix on in the background later today and just typing in shipping costs, shipping rates.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing it. And as soon as it's available, shoot us a message with a link, and I'll definitely check it out and give my feedback on whatever you guys want, and probably order myself a hat. So I
Oh,
want to
thank you.
thank you for coming. Yeah, no, I want to thank you for coming today. It's absolutely been great. I know it's early morning for you and you're just kind of getting your day going, but it's always great catching up with you guys. You guys have such a great enthusiasm. You're always very positive, and like I said, I hope for nothing but good things for you guys, because you're very well thought out. You're a very caring couple. You're very much wanting to do good things. So like I always say, people who do good things have it coming back to them tenfold. So hopefully it goes that way for you guys. And as soon as you guys you hit your next steps, reach out to us. We'll set you up with another AMA. We'll chat it up. We'll help promote, retweets, all that kind of stuff. You just hit us up, and we're more than willing to help you out.
Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And you guys have been awesome this whole time. And we really do appreciate that. I know that we're all just trying to do our best. And hopefully we can, get through this year. Whatever happens financially, whatever happens in the world, we get through this year. And then hopefully within the next year or two, maybe three, we'll all be. Partying wherever we may be in the world.
For sure. So if you guys are listening, make sure you check out Pit Bull Bushido. You can follow them on Twitter at Pit Bull Bushido. Also check out their website, pitbullbushido.com. And also go check out their other website, hookedonnugs.com, where you can see information about the other projects as well. And yeah, make sure you get involved, join their Discord, and hopefully in the very soon, people will be able to get their hands on these really cool NFTs and some really cool merch. So once again, thank you very much for joining us today. And like I said, keep in touch, and we'll definitely circle back around and have you guys on again.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate your time. I know you guys are busy, and good to be with you. And thank you. Thanks to everyone for listening in. We appreciate it, and God bless.
Thank you much, everyone. Take care. Have a good day.
That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also ensure to follow us on all our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter, to ensure to keep up to date on everything KDA related. You can find all the links in the description below. Take care.